Hey, like, how was you feeling, bro? Feeling like a fool, right? Feel fantastic. Which one would you be, though? Mr. Fantastic, cause the money like a less. My favorite treasure, go eat, smoke, and reggae.
Hey guys, it's Gabby, aka Kazibi, and welcome back to another video on my channel where I teach you guys how to make The Sims 4 run a little bit faster on your computer. I just want to preface this by saying that I actually have a gaming PC, so if you have a laptop or a computer that is not as advanced, your computer probably won't be able to run extremely fast. I have used laptops and old computers in the past and have experienced really bad laggy gameplay. I have used these tips and they've worked for me, and so I hope that they help you out. So yeah, let's just jump into the steps and the tips on how to make it more playable for you. So starting off, we're actually going to go ahead and open our mods folder, documents, electronic arts, The Sims 4. You should see your Sims 4 files. So as you can see here, there are some files named Last Exception, and they are text documents. And you can also see the local thumb cache package. What you're going to want to do is delete these files regularly. You don't really need them there. As long as you know what the last exception was saying and you've figured out the problem with the last exception, then you can go ahead and delete those because you don't need them in your game anymore. As well as the local thumb cache, you can go ahead and delete that too. You can also go ahead and delete the last crash text as long as you know what was wrong with it. If you're still experiencing the problems that are in the last exception and last crash text, then I suggest not deleting them and making sure you know what the problem was before you delete them. You can actually delete every file that has the file type .cache. You can also go inside the cache folder and delete all of these images, and you can also delete everything inside the online thumbnail cache. Then you can go into the other cache folder that has the str at the end, and you can actually delete the spotlight package. Also note that if you don't play, also to keep in mind that if you don't use the online features of The Sims, then you probably will not see the online thumbnail cache. Make sure to not delete the actual folders though, because that is where the game knows where to put those files. So that is all for clearing cache. The next thing I want you guys to do is actually go inside your screenshots folders and your recorded video folders and just move them to your desktop. Don't move the actual folder to your desktop, just move the photos out of your game. So I suggest if you have screenshots or recorded videos, you can go ahead and just move them elsewhere. So I'm just gonna select all of them, cut them, make a new screenshots folder, and just go ahead and paste them. Or if you don't care about them, you can just go ahead and delete them. The next thing I suggest you do is, if you have mods, which most of us do, to go ahead and move the mods that you don't always use to your desktop, which all the mods I have in here I use all the time. I'm constantly changing and deleting and reinstalling and just getting mods, because using too many mods at one time obviously makes the game much slower. Typically what I would just do is to go and, let's say I didn't want the slow dancing mod all the time, just to move it to the desktop and then put it in a folder. You can title the folder whatever you want. I'm just going to title it other mods. I'm just going to drag this in here. That way I don't have to always have it in my game, and I can just leave it on my desktop. That way I don't have to go back to the website and re-download it and exchange it back and forth. Another kind of, I guess, is not really a Sims 4 specific thing to do, is to just go into your recycling bin and just delete everything in there, because the more files you have on your computer, the harder it is for things to actually be running just in general. Chances are if you've deleted something, then you probably want it gone, but as you can tell, I have not touched this in a very long time. Make sure that you have everything in here that you absolutely want to delete, and just go ahead and delete everything in your recycling. That works for just overall performance issues, no matter what you're running on your computer, no matter what game you're playing. Just keep remembering to do that. The next step I have for you is to actually merge your custom content. I definitely don't suggest merging your mods, simply because mods are constantly being outdated and they require game coding, and custom content typically doesn't. The only thing I suggest about merging your custom content is that you actually know that you want the custom content and that it's not broken. Make sure that there's no problems with the custom content currently in your game. That way you don't have problems and you can't find it just because the file is one file. So let me show you exactly how to merge your CC. You're actually going to need the Sims 4 Studio to do this. I'll put a link in the description to the website, that way you guys can get it. And you're also going to need an account and to be able to sign in to get the Sims 4 Studio. I know that the Sims 4 Studio is different on Mac computers. Like, I know you can't find broken CC, so I don't know if this works for Mac. I hope it does, but if you have a PC, then definitely this will work for you. So it's actually pretty simple to go ahead and merge your CC. You're going to go to Content Management, and then from here you're going to click Merge Packages. You're going to basically drop files here. So you're going to click Add, and then you're going to go to where you keep your mods. Now I'm just going to merge my shoes, for example. Select everything, all of my shoes, and I'm going to click Open. And then I'm going to click Merge. And then I'm going to name it shoes merged, and then you're done. You can go ahead and just delete all of the individual packages and just have all your shoes in one place. That way you don't need to have too many files. This definitely does help the game run faster. I suggest doing this, like I said, if you know that you want to keep the custom content and that the custom content is good in the game and not broken. Make sure that you check for that first. Yeah, this is really easy to do and very helpful. So that is all the steps I have as far as making the game run faster, and now I'm going to give you guys some tips. So my first tip for you guys is actually to switch your custom content style. I actually use Maxis Match custom content. If you use Alpha CC, if you enjoy Alpha CC and that works for you, that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying that I know that a lot of people that use Alpha, the hair is more detailed, it makes the game slower. If you want to try out Maxis Match custom content, then I definitely suggest doing that to make the game run faster. Another tip for you guys is to constantly keep up with mod and CC creators on social media, especially after patch releases. Just constantly continue to see if they're updating and stuff like that if you use mods and CC, because I know that that kind of thing can cause a lot of lag issues. Make sure you're keeping up with what your favorite mod and CC creators are doing. That way you can make sure that you have the latest versions of their content. Another tip I have for you is to make sure that you know the minimum requirements. Make sure that you know if your computer fits the minimum requirements for The Sims. Now, if you have a laptop or just an old computer in general, there's a high chance that it doesn't fit the minimum requirements to run The Sims. And if that's the case, then I suggest not playing with a lot of packs or mods and CC at all, because it will just be trauma for you. It'll just be awful for you. So I definitely suggest limiting your packs and not using CC, and also obviously implementing the tips that I have given you in the video. You can easily look it up. It's on the Sims website. I think it's on Origin as well. Another thing to take into consideration is if you have any other games on your computer. If you have like games that take up a lot of space, it could just affect The Sims. That kind of goes with anything, games, programs, whatever you have on your computer. If you have a lot of stuff, just make sure that you are clearing it out and getting rid of things that you don't need. Okay, so if you go into the options menu and you click game option, you can see here your graphics, so either low or low medium, because there's a high chance that if your graphics are too high, it's just going to create too much lag. And even though the low and low medium settings aren't the prettiest, it's just what's going to work best for you, especially if you want to continue to use your CC and mods. Another thing I do want to actually point out is here it says laptop mode, and basically if you use a laptop, this mode is supposed to help the game run faster for laptops. But I actually did have a laptop for the majority of the time I've been playing The Sims. I don't have a laptop now, but I did have a laptop for a long time, and using laptop mode actually did not really work for me. And I had a very old computer. Laptop mode was much glitchier than just putting your settings to low. So I think that if you put your settings to low, then it should be just fine for you, even if you're on a laptop. But if laptop mode works for you, then definitely go ahead and do that. My final tip for you, it's not even really a tip, it's just kind of like a piece of advice, I guess. If you're still experiencing extreme lag and nothing in this video has helped you, then definitely go and try to repair your game in Origin. So if you go to Origin and you press the little settings button, you'll see here repair game. Now my game is running, so the option's not there, but if any problems are occurring in the game that you just couldn't fix by doing this video, definitely repair your game. Sometimes that helps. It's helped me once in the past. So just make sure that you're doing that, especially after patches and something goes wrong with a patch and you've taken out all your mods and you're not really sure what's going on. And the last thing I want to say is that if this still hasn't helped you, then your computer probably is not strong enough to run custom content and mods or a lot of packs. So I suggest limiting your packs, not using CC and stuff like that. And if you do, very minimal, because if your game can barely run, then it's not very safe for you to just continue to, it could slow down your computer in general, just having it on there. So just make sure that you're being careful when you're using mods, CC, and just overall putting things in your game. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave me a comment. I will definitely answer. I hope that your game is running a little bit faster after this. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.